Yo, today we'll be taking an insight into the book The 50th Law, written by Robert Greene and 50 Cent, none other than Curtis Jackson. This book right here I read when I was 18, and all these from book 1 to book 23 was all at the time I was 18 to 19, and this book had quite the influence on me. And this book was coming off Robert Greene's previous works, the 48 Laws of Power, The Art of Seduction, and many others. And he had done a collab with 50 Cent, who himself was quite inspired by his work. You can see through previous, there's videos online of him mentioning Robert Greene's work prior to their collaboration. And what stood out to me as an 18-year-old reading this, straight bang from the cover, you can see, like, there's this quotations and in the back quotations, and what stood out to me was, I'll put it to the word fearlessness, and all the things that I mentioned in the book, it just pointed to me to the one word, which was fearlessness. And the book kind of mentions it goes through 50 Cent's life. It's almost a biography in that sense, where he talks about the things he learned from growing up in the streets, growing up with problems in the hood and problems with peers in music, and how you can take that and apply that into some sort of mindset and project that as I would just say fearlessness, really. And here on the top right hand corner, you can see we have a video of 50 Cent or Mr. Jackson explaining it himself, and let's see what he has to say about his collaboration with Mr. Robert Greene.
Hey, what's up? It's 50 Cent, and this right here is the 50th Law. Right here, this book is a collaboration with myself and Robert Greene. It was a great experience working with Robert. You might be familiar with him from 48 Laws of Power, 33 Strategies of War, or The Art of Seduction. Just to mention a few projects that he actually worked on. He's a great writer, and I had the opportunity to compile information and talk to him about my experience so far and what I feel like I want to do in the future. I think it's important for you to develop a plan. In this actual book, I put down some of the concepts and ideas that I created. I expressed all of my really intimate thoughts with Robert, so he can assess what I was doing without having technical terms to create a description of what my planning process was. And overall, I'm really proud of this actual project. They'll get a chance to pick it up September 8th, 50th Law, 50 Cent, Robert Greene. It's gonna be great. You get a chance to read it and create your own 5-year plan for success.
Alright. Oh god, this video was that was 14 years ago. The date it mentions is the 8th of September 2009. Long time ago. And as he said, I would imagine it to be the case where they had sit downs together, and Mr. Greene, or Robert, he had the chance to kind of pick apart Curtis's brain and analyze his mindset, and go through his past and kind of put that into a format where it's readable for the audience, and get out there, get to the audience what the author himself, him and 50 Cent, what do they want people to know? And that's what you get from the book. Now the question is to us, what do I want to know from the authors? What do I want to know from these people? And I've compiled some notes, and references will be in the description, guys, for all of this stuff mentioned. A lot of this is summarized from online articles and online web pages, and thank you to all those people, and you will be in the description. Now, Robert Greene observed 50 Cent's patterns of behavior and themes, which eventually became assembled into 10 chapters of this book. And listen, I'm getting better at this reading thing. I just need to I need to make sure I don't rush it and take my time with it. I'm getting better with every video I'm doing. Your fears are a kind of prison that confines you within a limited range of action. And the first quote that's mentioned is about, well, in this insight I bring forth is fears, and trying to overcome your fears, because they do limit you in a way of being able to do better than you are doing right now. There's so many things that fear stops you of. And it's not just the fear itself, it's, you know, fear of missing out, fear of judgment, fear of actually fulfilling your potential and seeing what the answer would become if you actually tried. And is so many different types of fears that affect you, that could affect you. So it is a limitation in a way where it can stop you from doing the things that you should be doing and you want to be doing. Number one, from, I'm assuming, the many key points that I mentioned, see everything for what it is: intense realism. Realism is in fact the ideal we must aspire to, the highest point of human rationality. And we will keep it moving. You know, seeing everything for what it is. And you hear people in that, wherever you've grown up, like in my area where I've grown up, people just say, see it for how it is, or it is what it is. You know, it is what it is kind of thing. It's just trying to be as realistic and as objective as you can be, regardless of, you know, how subjective us humans are. Make everything your own. Self-reliance. Relying on yourself. Robert Greene states that you should strive to work for yourself and be self-reliant, which will motivate, inspire creativity, and allow you to be fully yourself. And I myself have strived for the ability to be self-reliant, and also in the same way I've realized over the past few years that I am reliant on others too. There is a point where you balance both. There's a point where you should be able to be independent and achieve things yourself. And there's also another point where you should understand that being a one-man army is not as beneficial as being a part of a team and using the help of others and being able to help others. It's just the way things are, in a sense. So balancing both is a recipe for a good life. Now let's see what 50 Cent had to say here. I was born alone, I will die alone. I've got to do what's right for me and not live my life the way anybody else wants it. Okay, yeah, so not living for others, like how I mentioned, fear of judgment, fear of criticism, fear of standing out. Those things drive you to become this isolated version of yourself, meaning that you put yourself in the box to fit in within the social norms, and you strip your personality out, you strip your dreams out, you strip your wants out to fit in with everyone else, and, you know, not divert from where people want you to be. But you need to also consider yourself, because, you know, God has rights over you. You have rights over yourself. Your family has rights over you. Your friends have rights over you. You need to consider your own rights of yourself and make sure that you have taken into consideration that taken into consideration the things you want to achieve and the things you want to work on. So don't push your own dreams and your own wants out of the way to please everyone else, because at the real end of the day, no one really cares about how much you've sacrificed, because everyone has their own sacrifices that they make and things they have to worry about. So when it really comes down to it, individual by individual, they will not care. That is the truth. So also, as you consider others, consider yourself in that same way. You know, fulfill your own rights. Judge people based on their actions, not by their words. Okay, yeah, definitely. If someone, you know how they say, this person said one thing and he did the other, and meaning in that way. So let's say a certain person, a man or woman, tells you one thing, like, listen, I'm gonna fulfill my responsibility to you in this way. Come the time to do it, they don't do it. Sometimes you judge by their actions and not by their words, because both are very, very important ways to assess someone. Assess yourself regarding where you are now and where you want to go. Yes, and this is a great way to move you away from comparing yourself to others all of the time, because comparison to others is in most cases unfair and not really justified, because when you think about other people and yourself, everyone has different circumstances. So everything starts to differ. So it doesn't really become a fair sort of analysis when you put yourself in a comparison with someone who has a different environment. He has different motivations. He has different circumstances, different abilities. Sometimes it's best to just compare yourself to yourself, where you are now, what your goals are, where you want to be, and bridge that gap. Comparing yourself with others sometimes has to come after. Be authentic in your work. Make your enterprise a reflection of your individuality. Yeah, be authentic. And as much as I believe this, it's harder to follow. And I hope through my work that I'm putting out there now that I am portraying authenticity and express as much as my personality as I can for all of this, and not trying to fit in and like how I said, strip your personality out of it and strip everything away from it just to fit in with everyone. I'm trying to be as authentic I am in my work. So all of this stuff that's being read is an advice and a reminder to myself as well as to everyone else. Move up the food chain. Take what you want. Take what you need instead of expecting others to give it. Yeah. So sometimes you have to. Let me give a different example where someone would have a plate expecting the dinner lady to give them the food, where sometimes she won't give it. You have to ask her what you want, otherwise she won't give you anything. So take what you need instead of expecting others to give it. So make sure you take the initiative, that initiative to take that first step. Be that person to take action and grab what you need instead of just waiting for others to do it and then blaming everyone else for what happened to you. Rather, you take that initiative and grab what you need. And we are 12 minutes in, and I'm assuming there's 5 more pages of this. So I may have to do a part 1 or a part 2, or I can just probably just go through all of it as much as I can, because there is a lot to go through. Keep moving, calculated momentum. Robert Greene reiterates that so much is out of our control, so forget about trying to do it all, and instead adapt to the environment, ride the momentum, and seek the opportunities that come with it. Yeah, definitely. Nothing more needs to be said on that. Nothing more needs to be said, or we're going to be at 50 minutes by the time I get to the end of this. 50 Cent is a person I created. Soon it will be time to destroy him and become somebody else. Called by 50 Cent. And very interesting to say. And similarly to how this, I am Sammy, but Chance is something I've created, and it will be like this until whenever I decide no longer. Mental flow. Develop your mind by seeking out knowledge and thinking critically. Cultural flow. Periodically reinvent yourself by incorporating the current trends. Social flow. Set expectations and stimulate collaboration with others in your endeavors. So find a mental flow, find a cultural flow, and find a social flow. I agree with all of them. Finding that nice flow, that nice river stream that you can go on to stay in that mindset of sustaining things. The way I learned it, the kid in the schoolyard. Let me try to read this in an American accent, since it's an American man quoting this. The way I learned it, the kid in the schoolyard who let me not even try it. The kid in the schoolyard who doesn't want to fight always leaves with a black eye. If you indicate you'll do anything to avoid trouble, that's when you get trouble. Jokes aside, that is very true, and I've seen it in my primary school, in secondary school, in sixth form, in university, and in any sort of environment outside of that, where the one who is most scared of fighting and indicates his fear of it is the one who gets put in the most absurd and embarrassing situations, and they get embarrassed the most because the bullies see that as an opportunity to take advantage of someone, and really test their limits and pull those heartstrings and pull their physical limbs and see how far they're really willing to go until they snap. And when they do snap, the bully will continue to break him down, or they will step back and be shocked and that's their limit. So sometimes being the person to show that you do have, well, in all cases, showing that you do have a limit and you will take it there when it needs to be taken. And there meaning you will defend yourself, physically or verbally when needs be. That will show your own boundary, and in most cases, people will respect that. Other than the completely crazy people that will try to overstep that and think they can destroy you for it. Lead from the front, authority. Robert Greene tells you to practice what you preach. Lead by your actions, not words, by working the hardest, keeping the highest standards, taking intelligent risks, and making sound decisions. Yes, and like how we said earlier, lead by your actions, not by your words, because words are easy to say in almost every scenario. Actions are hard to follow in most scenarios. And, set the example rather than, talking about it. Actually, how you said, practice what you preach, do it, and they'll respect you more for it, because you're doing the things that you're recommending to people. And I hope to follow that too. As much as I say it now, I hope to follow it. The bold knight. Take initiative and set the pace for the rest of the group to follow. And you see how this is, to me, a lot of this is about fearlessness and taking action and initiative and being the leader. And it's a lot of homage, respect to 50 Cent as well, to Curtis, because he's obviously portrayed that, and he's gone through a hard upbringing. He got shot. He's been through a lot of problems with people, family struggles, relationship problems, and he's overcome that, and he's managed to turn that into beneficial knowledge for everyone else that's reading this book. And great respect to Robert Greene for putting it in a format that is beneficial to us, for us all to read. And let me see the time. Okay, so we're page 4, 17 minutes, and we'll see how things go. Reversal of perspective. Never rest on your laurels or past achievements. Instead, constantly take action that moves the group forward and brings positive results. So I'm assuming meaning that don't be too complacent with what you've achieved, and work on building new achievements so you can have more and more achievements on your wall of achievements, the wall of fame that you have in your mind. Or if you actually have one on your wall, I need to see that. Let's actually see what you have on the wall, because we want trying to see what's on the wall. Know your environment from the inside out. Connection. Robert Greene states that many create an idea they want to act on, and then search for an audience to accept their idea. However, you should first understand your audience and environment, and then create an idea for them. And that is something I kind of fit in between, where I try to understand my audience, but at the same time I put the idea first and foremost. And yeah, I think it does depend on your scenario that you're in to kind of decide what is best. And this is for you, because at the end of the day, you decide what you should do in your life. The public is never wrong. When people don't respond to what you do, they're telling you something loud and clear. You're just not listening. Yeah. So understanding feedback and criticism is a very integral aspect to your growth and your understanding of how what you're doing makes other people feel. Make sure you do take in consideration what the people are telling you. Sometimes you have trolls and whatever, but take in consideration what the people are telling you, and that is it's a very straightforward way to understand what you're doing is good or not. Be open to criticism and feedback from your audience. Okay, respect the process. Mastery. Robert Greene states that mastery requires you to trust the process and spend many hours of practice and struggle. But in the end, your time investment will result in great satisfaction with the craft and yourself. And actually, I did not mention the book that we went into, the third book, which was Mastery, written by Robert Greene. And that was a great book, going over the 3 phases of mastery. And so next, most people can't handle boredom. That means they can't. Oh, look, I can't. I keep doing this. It's embarrassing. That means they can't stay on one thing until they get good at it, and they wonder why they're unhappy. Okay, most people can't handle boredom. Very, very important thing that will come up when I do my insight on Atomic Habits, and it was one of the most important quotes I've ever read in my entire life of reading, where I actually writ that page word for word, a page or two. I think no, just one entire page. That was the first time I ever written an entire page on my journal, and we'll go over that in, I don't know how long is it going to be really, because I haven't really got to it yet, and I'm on Insight 30, so I'm saying 2 months time. 2 months time we'll get into that, but that is one of the most. That video there will be special video. It'll be a special video, and I'll leave that discussion for that time because it is a very important discussion I'll get into. Progress through trial and error. Experiment to see what works and what doesn't work. And I've given this advice out to people on Reddit and Quora. You know, go out and try stuff. Try it out. Because you kind of say, no, nothing works for me. It never works. It never works. But you haven't really gone out and tried things. Like, trial and error is a key way to bridge the gap between knowing what you don't like and do like versus assuming what you don't like and do like. Master something simple. Start with a simple win to create confidence and momentum. Yes, I've been saying this. Am I crazy? Because I've been saying this. I have been saying accomplish simple goals to boost your confidence in your ability, and it's a cycle that you can continue working on, and it's a very, very effective way to improve your life progressively, and like a snowball effect. Like, imagine this is a small snowball on the top of a hill, and as it's going down, it's continuing to get bigger and bigger, and you can keep working on it over time. It won't happen in a week or overnight, not even a month, but in a year's time, you will see so much progression that you'll be like, oh, really? I started on the 1st of January. Now it's 31st of December. I feel like a completely revived person, a completely different man or woman. Push beyond your limits, self-belief. Robert Greene shows that your self-perception shapes your actions and what you ultimately achieve in life. Thus, you should take on more responsibility, set higher goals, and expect that you will achieve greatness. So, believing in yourself, and how self-perception, it does shape your actions, and it definitely shapes what you achieve in life. And how he says, take on more responsibility, higher goals, and expect that you'll achieve greatness. I've reiterated it so much that it's become it's become something that I wake up and think about, and sleep and think about how important and simple it is to shift your mindset about yourself to create good results. And we went over this in As a Man Thinketh. If you're new to watching this video, go to my second book insight, which was called As a Man Thinketh, and it goes over mindsets and how good thoughts produce good actions. And it's a simple thing to say, and as I'm speaking to you right now, you're probably thinking this guy is just trying to say some positive gibberish, some positive things, and thinking it will work. But try it out, and it's more of an application than just me just saying there's sunshine and rainbows everywhere. It's more of an application thing. It does really work, and you just need to believe it, and you will see results. Your opinion of yourself becomes your reality. if I don't even know who I'm sounding like. Am I sounding American? Who am I sounding like in America? Put it in the comments. Who do I even sound like? Are we making out the hood? Let me know. If you have all these doubts, then no one will believe in you and everything will go wrong. If you think the opposite will happen, it's that simple. Yeah. And exactly how we said it. So I'm not going to go over this again. 50 Cent, the man, Mr. Jackson, said it perfectly. So, yeah. Defy all categories. Resist the pressure for others to fit you into a narrow box. Yes, 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 yes. Checkbox, 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 checkbox. Boom! You know what? Because when I talk about this stuff, yeah, I'm happy that it starts to align, as this whole video feels like it's its own book. It's all coming together. So, how I mentioned earlier, how you try to fit into social norms and extract all bits of your personality and your desires and your dreams and your purpose, everything about you, so you can fit in. Defy all categories. Resist the pressure for others to fit you into a narrow box, or you fit yourself into a narrow box. Don't allow that to happen, because in most cases you need to express yourself. And I wrote a post about this, which will come out in like 3 weeks' time. Create a sense of destiny. Believe that you are destined to accomplish something great. Have a good belief about yourself, about your abilities, so you can achieve great things. Bet on yourself. Believe that if you fail, you'll figure it out and become stronger. And of course, there's a side that people will come out and say that, hey, look at this guy, Chance. Look at him. He's trying to say, if you just believe in yourself, that's it. No, it can't be. This guy crazy. How he think if he just say that, we'll believe that? But there is so much more to it. But this is an important thing you need to understand first. It comes first, and then everything else will follow. Everything else, the actions and the actual practical steps you can take, it comes after the mindset and working on that foundation mentally first. Reversal of perspective. People who have a solid sense of their own value and who feel secure about themselves have the capacity to look at the world with greater objectivity. Yeah, so having a set of values, a list of values, things that you stand for, morals, and, in my opinion, a religious background, me being Muslim, is very important that you have some sort of list of things that you believe in, so that you can have a stronger foundation to stand on, and not how I used to feel, I was quite flexible with things, and how I would look at things, and it left me quite fragile, because if someone was to tell me one thing, I'll believe it. Go open the next door, someone else tell me, so I'll believe that too. But having a strong foundation, it gives you something to stand on, and not always believing at what everyone has to say and being in the learning position every time. Having a strong foundation sets you up for life to become the man or woman that can open doors and help others too. Oh damn, I should have ended it on that, right? Oh, there's Niles in there.